Hi everyone, this is Mike Pumphrey from Empathic Finance, and I'm going to do something a little bit differently today. You see, one of the things that over the years I have been asked to review, or just to have my thoughts about, is You Need a Budget. YNAB. YNAB? Is that how they call it? I don't know. So You Need a Budget. And people have said that You Need a Budget is a good tool and they provide a lot of really interesting things. And I talk about budgeting. You know, I don't love using the word budget. I try and avoid using that term. I think it is a little too loaded to be used. But, you know, they're certainly not shying away from the word budget here. Look, it's the fourth letter, B. It's the B word. So people have said, hey, would you check out You Need a Budget? What do you think? Should I be using it? And to be honest, I've never used it before. So I can't really say whether it's something worth checking out. And so gradually, you know, I get these requests, and eventually I'm thinking, well, I guess I should check it out, right? I don't want to be able to say like, oh, you shouldn't use this if I haven't actually tried it myself. So I decided to check out You Need a Budget. Now, the thing of it is that I could just go through the process and sign up for an account and test it for a while and then write a blog post about it. And that's what I was planning on doing. And then I thought, well, I have this YouTube channel. I make videos now. And wouldn't it be cool if I actually set up You Need a Budget while on video? And so today, what I'm going to do on this video is I'm going to sign up for You Need a Budget, and I'm going to go through and look at it from the perspective of someone who is familiar with budgeting and financial wellness in general, but not familiar with You Need a Budget, the program, the app, the service, whatever you want to call it, not familiar with it at all. So I am going through this for the first time while on video. So I am going to, you know, so I don't have a real prepared script or anything like that. What I'm just going to do is see what happens. Okay, so the first thing I notice is that they have a free trial and they say, try YNAB free for 34 days. And I'm curious why 34, right? Because presumably that's close enough to 30 or 31 that it's kind of a monthly thing. But they've added a few extra days there, and I'm assuming that's not, you know, that's not just for whimsy. I'm assuming there's a reason for that. So I'm very curious about that. Let's go through their homepage and see what they say. So first thing is gain total control of your money. Okay? Stop living paycheck to paycheck, get out of debt, and save more money. All good things. So their first top headline sounds good to me. I'm on board. I like all of those things. Let's see. It's award-winning software with a proven method. You know, when they use the word proven, I was like, all right, well, show your work. I think people tend to overuse the word proven. I have a system that works, but I'm not going to say it's been proven. I guess that comes from my scientific background. Like, I know the difference between a postulate and an axiom and a proof and things like that. So don't think we can say proven, but in the non-scientific way of talking about things, sure. Okay, it's a proven method, it works. Okay, and here is the budgeters save $600 in their first 2 months and more than $6,000 in the first year. Watch the 1-minute video of how it works. I'm not going to click the video because you can click the video and it's going through, and it won't look good if you see it on here, but sure. I believe that it works because I have found similar things that when people start to when they start to take control of what they're spending is, when they start to realize what they're doing, when they start to make a plan for what their spending is as opposed to being passive about it, yeah, they're going to save some money. That's pretty much, I don't want to say proven, but that's pretty much what I found with everyone I've ever worked with. So yeah, all right, so all good so far. Testimonials, overcame debt. It's all sounding good. You can do this right now for free. Yeah, so the question is, what is for free and what is for pay? That's something I'm curious about. Budgeting is not restrictive. You won't be spending less. You'll be spending smart. And yeah, no, I quite like this because I do believe that budgeting is not a restriction. Instead, it's an allowance. It's something that you allow yourself to do instead of prevent yourself from doing. So when you think of it in terms of a positive way, then you can break some of the feelings of restriction that often go along with budgeting. So this is sounding good. Let's do a feature tour. Okay, our 4 rules, or the key, the magic, the secret sauce. Okay, so they have a shtick. It's a 4 rules thing. Learn our method, and you could budget successfully blindfolded with one arm tied behind your back. Har har. Okay, fun. Okay, so 4 rules. That reminds me of the 7 baby steps type of thing, but numerical things. People like lists. The 5 ways that you can become wealthy in the new year. So okay, cool. Budget together. Share finances with a partner. Okay, that's good. That's good. Shared access. Goal tracking. Reports. Okay. Personal support. 100 plus free live online workshops. Yikes. Okay, cool. All right, so it's all sounding good. Security, yeah, so they say that, but it could be next week that we get the email saying, we're sorry, but our database has been compromised. I mean, you never know, but I'm not going to hold them to account for this. Okay, and then this is the call to action at the bottom, and then that's a sort of a generic footer because we've already been there. Okay, let's keep on going. YNAB is everywhere. By the way, for people who are familiar with You Need a Budget, and if YNAB is not something you're supposed to say, if it's like pronouncing Linux as Linux, then I'm really sorry. This is just me. This is me being, doing this for the first time.
Hello, this is Linus Torvalds, and I pronounce Linux as Linux.
You Need a Budget is different from anything you've tried before. Now that I'm going to be real surprised if I'm going to agree with. My bias is that, I don't know, I reserve judgment, but my bias is that they are going to show you a way of doing the same thing you've tried to do, but in a way that's going to be more successful. So there's nothing about this that makes me think like, oh gosh, like they're really discovered something new. But I would love to be wrong. This is why you've never heard anyone say that Mint changed their lives. Yeah, I mean that's a good point. So I think looking backward. Okay, this is good. This is good. Looking backward is better than not looking at all. Yes, what I talk about descriptive versus prescriptive budgeting, which is to say that instead of just looking and seeing what you did, turning that around and changing and setting what it is that you're going to do. So once you do that, then real things happen. But a lot of times people just, their checking account or whatever says, well, I just get a statement. Yeah, but so what? So you find out what you did. That's an important part, but I think a lot of times people get stuck at that. So I guess maybe at this point I was expecting to have a little bit more like, chin scratching. Like, I don't know about that, but so far, they're talking a good game here. So let's see, YNAB versus your tried and true spreadsheet. Okay, now we're talking here. I know some people hate spreadsheets. I'm not one of them. I think spreadsheets are awesome. I think they have a design problem, I guess, because they're not as flashy and pretty as they could be. They're just kind of lines. So it's really, if you want things that look good and are pretty, spreadsheets probably aren't for you. But on the other hand, they work. So this is saying that YNAB is better than a spreadsheet. Okay. Let's find out why. And more testimonials. Okay, so now let's move on to pricing. So the monthly plan and the annual plan. Okay, so got $12 a month, $84 a year. So that's 84. That's what, 7 times 12. So that means that if you buy a year, you get 5 months free. So that's pretty good. I feel like that's more of a discount than most annual plans give you. Sometimes it's like 20%, right? Okay, so all right, but what do you get for free? It's a free trial. So is nothing for free? Do they just cut you off after 34 days? That would be a bit of a bummer, but we gotta make money somehow. More testimonials and all this stuff that we've seen before, and they have classes. So it looks like they don't have a free version, but they give you a free trial. So that said, why don't we go start a free trial? Right. Gone this far, you know you need a budget. Yeah, okay, great. Okay, let's do this. All right, let's see how many words we have in the terms of service. So yeah, CYA, I agree. Do I need to do something else? No, okay. All right. And we're in. Okay. So, what do we got? Okay, you're about to be a world-class budgeter. Okay, so this is a wizard, presumably. They're not going to just dump you in. They're going to give you a handhold. So let's do this. Okay, let's get started. Which of these brought you to YNAB? Select as many as you like. Okay, so if I'm doing this from the perspective of, well, like a client or something, I can do it. I'll do saving for retirement and saving for a big purchase, and paying off debt. Sure, let's just do those three. Okay. Are you budgeting by yourself or with a partner? For now, just do I'm going solo. Let's see what the partner thing. It's probably just a shared thing, but I don't know. Maybe there'll be more, but I'll just say I'm going solo. Is your income regular or variable? That's interesting because there are different challenges for people who have a irregular income. It's a whole different process. It's a similar amount on a regular schedule, but for the purposes of this, I'm just going to say regular schedule. We're sending bits of budgeting wisdom to this email address. Okay. Remember to check out our world-class customer support. I wonder if they have actual humans or if it's like bots. Are you ready to take total control of your money? Of course you are. All right, here we are. Okay. So here we are in the app. And so after asking those questions, it is kind of interesting that they do sort of just dump you here. So there's not a whole lot of a wizard here. I mean, so I have a sense of what's going on here, but I could see that this would be a little bit potentially challenging for someone that might be a little overwhelmed, especially if they get overwhelmed by a spreadsheet. But let's see. Immediate obligations, true expenses, as opposed to false expenses? What do they mean by that? Debt payments, quality of life goals, and just for fun. Okay, so they have their own vocabulary. To be honest, I'm not exactly sure what true expenses is. If we click plus, we'll just create a new category. Okay. Yeah, that's surprising to me. Okay, but immediate obligations. Okay, water, internet, groceries, transportation. Okay, so what happens if I click here and let's just say, okay, rent, say $2,000 a month. Laughably high for some people and laughably low for other people, but whatever, I gotta pick something. Whoa there, nice job budgeting. But red means you've budgeted more than money you'll have. Click to be budgeted to adjust, and then you can spend from your budget with confidence. Okay, so I put an obligation in there for $2,000, but I didn't put any income. That makes sense. So where would I put income? Debt payments. Where would I do that? Okay, quick budget, create electric goal. Oh yeah, that's there. If you're watching this and you're like a YNAB expert, you're gonna be like, what? It's click right there. Like you're just probably punching the screen, like do it. But this is new to me, so I am doing this. This is user testing now. Let's see. So where do you put income? Where do you do that? Gosh. Let's click around and come back to that. So we've got budget, we've got reports, and so this is after you have, details on what you've done and all accounts. So this is, I imagine this is, bank accounts, automatically import stuff. Yeah, so this is an interesting thing. So unsurprisingly, they allow you to link your accounts. It says for easy reconciliation. And I understand that YNAB is all about making it easy. I always personally am kind of against doing linked accounts and automatic reconciliation, just on, not on principle, but in the sense that when a linked account or when something automatically happens, it's different than when you do it yourself. It's much easier, of course. It's kind of like when you're taking a class and the professor hands out the notes from the lecture. Like, great, you don't need to take notes. But it's not the same as actually getting out the pen and writing the notes down. Your brain will remember it more, and you'll have more of a relationship to the actions when you do it yourself. So, in general, if I were using this for real, I would definitely do unlinked. Start with your current balance and take control by entering your own transactions. And I would, I would maybe put my bank account web page on one side of the screen and, do that, or however I was doing it. But I think unlinked allows you to take more control. And control, as I said, is what it's all about. So let's see, unlinked. What account am I adding? I'm going to call it a checking account. My checking account. What is your current account balance? Okay, I'll say 4,000. It's a reasonable amount of float to have. A little bit high for some people, a little bit low for others. Okay, success. Well, good, because it didn't really need to do anything. Okay, let's see. Oh, it has a file-based import as well. I'm going to open that up in a new tab, and because I don't want to lose my place here. File-based import. So this allows you to import Quicken files and CSV files. That's cool. That's cool. So you can download your transactions from your bank and then import it here. That's pretty good. I still wouldn't do it, but if you have to, or it certainly does make things easier. So great, done. Okay, so I have a working balance. So working balance is 4,000. I guess it's kind of like float, kind of reconcile. So this thing is now bugging me. It's doing the flashy thing. So it's saying you want to set a goal. Budget helps you reach your goals, and goals help you budget effectively. Okay, yeah, fair enough. I mean, I think that's let's see. So, okay, so now we're back to the budgeting area, and it's saying budgeting means defining what's most important to you. Okay. Got to admit that I like their philosophy so far, as in there's nothing in here that feels really, I don't know, that I take a ton of issue with. I mean, why do we budget? We budget to allow us to do things. It's not to prevent us from doing things, and there is no right and wrong way to budget. It's not like there's a universally accepted correct amount of money to spend on restaurants. I mean, it doesn't work like that. Everyone has different goals and priorities and values, so everyone's budget should be different. It's not just, even with the same amount of income, two different people, two different families would have different budgets, different priorities. So I like this. No one can tell you what you spend your money on. Let's see. To show you how goals work, we'll use the software subscriptions category. Okay, so they're gonna fill this in for us. Just remember, it's your second, third goals that will truly make this budget yours. Okay, so it's gonna make a goal for us. Cool. Thank you. Let's see. Here's a goal. Here's that goal in your software subscriptions category to save. Yes. Oh, I see what they're doing here. That's very slick of them. So they have your software subscription. So they have budgeted. Oh wow, this is brilliant. They have added to your budget the yearly amount that you need a budget costs. So they have slipped in paying for You Need a Budget into the demo of using You Need a Budget. That is, gotta give them credit. That's just great. And not even the monthly. They just went straight for yearly. They want you to oh gosh, that's fantastic. And let me guess, so March 1st is like right after the trial ends or something. So they, I don't know who came up with that, but it was smart. See, here's that goal. Leave it as is. I'll save it. Good work, YNAB. You did it. Okay. So an orange number in the available column will keep you focused until you budget enough to stay on track. Then it'll change to glorious green. Okay. Don't budget for it yet. Okay. Let's most important, make a list, add a category, talk to your partner, then set your next very best goal. Okay. So it looks like this is the yellow or orange, I guess, denotes a goal. So it's saying, so by March 1st, so it's interesting. It's divided the goal into months, and then you haven't funded anything of it because you haven't put anything in here. So if I go and say, all right, I have magically found $28 to put in the software subscriptions, and I hit enter, hey, cool. So it turned green, and then if I do this, presumably if I do this for January, February, and March, then it's not going to yell at me. It's going to say, good work. What else can we find out? They've got some checkboxes over here, and we've done a few. Okay, signed up, add an account, set a goal, budget, schedule a transaction, and move money. Okay, so they're stepping me through a number of basic situations, and this is a kind of, I guess, the wizard that they have here. You've added your goals, you've set goals, time to give every dollar a job. Okay, heard that phrase before, but I agree with it, so hit start. Okay, so the money in your accounts are ready to be budgeted. As you budget, your goal is to get this number to 0, but not less. Okay, so where is this number coming from? So I said that I had $4,000 in my checking account, my fictitious checking account, and then rent is $2,000. So I need to figure out, so this is saying that I need to spend or allocate for spending, a little bit under $2,000, which sounds right. I still haven't figured out where I'm going to put my income. But whatever. Okay, so let's do next. Looks like you've gotten a head start. Yes. Work your way down the categories to give every dollar a job. Okay. Then, this is a wizard. Great. The money you budget in each category will show up here as available to spend, and you've got a budget. Okay. Oh my gosh, how long does this go on for? Repeat this whenever you receive money, moving top to bottom through the category groups. We arrange them in a helpful sequence. Okay, I'm going to open that. That's a link. I'm going to see what they mean by prioritize. Oh, blah. Okay, YouTube video. When you sit down to budget, think about each of these jobs for your dollars and keep on prioritizing until every dollar has a job. Okay. So obligations, embrace your true expenses. Interesting, that word true, because I feel like there's maybe they're trying to do a value judgment there, or perhaps, because I just think like, well, what's false expenses? Because that feels like a judgment there, and so maybe they just have to make a decision on what is true or not, but that's odd. Okay, deal with your debt, age your money. Age your money? Huh. Set quality of life goals and just for fun. Okay, so are they going to, as you budget for these items, your focus is rightfully drawn. Okay. Oh, hey, yes, interesting. So they're going back to the rules. So interestingly, I haven't seen the rules yet, but maybe we should do that. First, let me see what age your money is. Let's see. When you freed up some space, your money will start to get older. Huh. You can let your money just sit there. You can take proactive steps. What does it mean by your money will start to get older? It's an interesting philosophical angle there. And you have planned to deal with your debt. Is that money right to delay the amount of time between receiving and spending money? So it's the longer that your money is hanging out so it makes it older. Huh. I don't know how I feel about that. It's because you've been prioritizing it so effectively, you have money left over. Because I always think that the way you handle a budget is that you shouldn't have extra money or not enough money. So your age of your money should, the way I see it, be a month. Like, you shouldn't have any, say should, but you shouldn't have money that's older than a month because you want to give every dollar a job. Now, I think I'm probably misinterpreting this because other places it said you want to give every dollar a job. So I'm probably misreading this, but on first glance, the idea of age your money makes me wonder, what they're really talking about. But in general, because I'm reading this, in real time, the idea of having a little bit extra wiggle room, having a little bit extra money to go around is definitely a goal, or maybe a meta goal, I guess, because you want to be able to take care of all your bills and expenses, or true expenses, or use their terminology, but anything you got to spend money on, you want to have extra money after that so that you can put it towards things you want, things like future goals, things like retirement, or, if you got to, pay extra on your credit card, paying down your mortgage, saving for college, all these things. To be able to have extra money to do all that is one of the benefits of doing a budget, is that you find money down the back of the couch that you said, I don't have any extra money, but look there. And that's what ends up happening. When you look there, you find more money. So, all right, I've talked about that enough. Let's move on. So let's find out what these 4 rules are. I can see them over here. So, you've never budgeted, priorities. Is this all one page? Okay, it looks like it's all one page. So let's go through the 4 rules of the four commandments of YNAB. Let's see. So, rule 1, give every dollar a job. Hey, we just talked about this. Let's see. Okay, this is okay. Finite, talking about the time value of money, or the equivalent of money versus time, and how it works. Gotta all have 24 hours in the day. Okay. You only work with the money you actually have and give a job to each dollar. All right, I got nothing bad to say about that. I mean, so there's going to be no spending on credit cards here. So once you give a dollar a job, it'll just sit there waiting until it completes the job. Okay. Yeah, I got nothing bad to say about that. Okay. Rule 2, embrace your true expenses. Okay, we're finally going to figure out what true expenses are. Okay. So the house needs to be cleaned. Let's see. Okay, so it's using this idea of cleaning. So you didn't plan. You didn't break the job up into manageable pieces. Okay, you take an hour on Monday. Okay, imagine on Tuesday you'd spend 2 hours washing floors. Okay, this is a long analogy here. Budgeted your time. Okay. Preparing for the Friday visit isn't just a Friday task, it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday task. But we often don't think of our time this way. Okay. When you make progress now on tasks that need to be done later, you flip this around. Okay. So use your time in ways that are true to actual needs. Cool. All right. So imagine if your finances felt the same way. I'm imagining. So tell me what true means. When you embrace your true expenses, you can budget now for future needs. It's a down payment. Okay. You say you will set money aside, but how often do you do that? Well, you're going to do it if you do YNAB. Let's see. Okay. Car repairs, home repairs. You don't know exactly when they're coming, but you know they'll come. Okay, so you put money aside from them for now. Okay, so this is, I think, true expenses is referring to kind of saving up for things that I use the term buckets for that, in the sense that, it's not an emergency when your car needs to be fixed, when you lose a tire or transmission falls out or something, brake pads or whatever. Like, it's going to happen when you own a car. Like, you just don't know when, but you need money to put away for the inevitability of car repairs. And so I think true expenses in this case, the way I'm reading it right here, is just to take a look at those necessary but unknown time-wise expenses, like home repairs and stuff that come eventually but you don't know when. So I think that's a true expense. For me, I believe that having buckets for expenses that are going to happen, but maybe are larger than you could normally float in a given monthly budget, like, if my car needed $2,000 in repairs tomorrow, like, that's not something I could just, be like, all right, cool. I would need to take it out of my car fund, which I guess is kind of what they're saying is a true expense here. But so I got a bucket that I put money in for my car, so that if I have $2,000 in there, take it out, and boom, I've paid for the car thing. But it doesn't affect my monthly budget. So that's what I see is going on here. All right, let's move on. 4 rules. Rule number 3, roll with the punches. Okay, all right. Okay, sounds good. Finances work the same way. You should set broad outlines, clarify your priorities and goals, and when the details change, change with them. Okay. So then they're talking about budgeting from a perspective, the not being rigid with a monthly budget. So it says roll with the punches when you budgeted $40 for gifts, but then realize you've completely forgotten your mother's birthday. What are you going to do? Okay. So what we have here is what rule number 3 is basically saying that when you have a budget and you've allocated a certain amount of money for categories, that those categories are not etched in stone, so that if you need to move some things around, you can. And in general, I very much agree with that. I move my category money around, if I have a little bit extra in the, I don't know, like a transportation, if I had to fill up on gas, or if I had more groceries this month or less, or if I needed to cover something with something else, then I did that. The problem comes in is how many punches are you getting? Because the idea of setting category goals is that you want to attempt at least to stick with them. If you can just move everything around, it's kind of like being in a bathtub and creating a tidal wave. You can just move money, move your categories, and then the categories don't mean anything. And then the risk there is that your entire budget becomes like one big category. And then you lose the ability to section off and gain awareness on what you're doing in certain categories. Like, oh, I want to spend $500 on groceries this month, but then you spend $8 because you took $300 from somewhere else. And I think, so yes, I think you do want to be flexible, but if you find that you're robbing your Paul category to pay Peter, then, then there's got to be some middle ground where you don't just be able to change your categories, and you can try and keep them relatively fixed. I mean, things are going to change, there will be punches, but, we don't want to have too many of them if at all possible. Okay, so where's rule 4? Is there, ladies and gentlemen, everyone, okay, so deal with your debt, age, your money, quality of life goals, just for fun. Yep, all good, all good. So, didn't they say there were 4 rules? Is the 4th one a bonus? Do you need to pay to get the 4th rule? It might be right in front of me. I'm not seeing the 4th rule. Maybe it's in the common questions. Let's see. So if I go search the help center. Okay. What is the 4th rule? Okay. If I hit enter, it's going to tell me. Okay. Is this going to take me right back to where I was? Okay, the 4 rules. Okay, give every dollar a job. Okay, cool. Yes, yes. Brace your true expenses. Talked about that enough. Roll with the punches. All right, and age your money. That was not listed as rule 4 on that page. That was somewhere else. Okay, well, mystery solved. Goal is to be spending money that's at least 30 days old. Use last month's pay on this month's expenses. Use last month's pay on this month's expenses. I wonder if that's their way of dealing with float. Nothing to stress about. The goal is to be spending money that is at least 30 days old. I don't know how I feel about that. It's okay. I mean, it's certainly coming from the right mindset, as in like, the second a dollar comes in, poof, it goes out the window. But, because the way I always see it is that you want to treat months as atomic and individual. The money you make in a given month is the money you spend in a given month. And it feels like if you're using last month's pay on this month's expenses, then, then yeah, I guess, every month is different. I think it's just a different way of doing the same thing. I'm going to give YNAB the benefit of the doubt here. So, be purposeful. Yeah, because it's saying all the right things. Be purposeful, spend less than you earn, The age of money, I don't know. It's fine. It's fine. Okay, so let's close some tabs and let's go back to YNAB. Okay, so here we are back in our budget. So repeat this whenever you see money going through. Okay, the sequence prioritizing. Okay, so this is where we left off. Got it. So let's, we can fill some stuff in while we're at it. Electric, 100, water, 50, internet, 80, groceries, 500. Someone's probably going to have a field day of taking a look at these numbers and like thinking like, what does he spend? And I'm just coming up with numbers here. Transportation, I don't know, whatever, 100, fine. Interest and fees. I'll leave that blank. And then we have true maintenance, auto maintenance. Okay, so these are buckets. These are things you're putting away for the future. So I'll say 50 here, 100 here, 50 here, medical, 700,000. Sorry, that's a joke for people who live in the United States. Whatever, 100. Clothing, 50. Gifts, giving. Everything is 50 now. Computer replacement. Yikes. Yeah. Stuff I forgot to budget for. Ha ha. It's like the fun misc category, as I call it. Okay, so we'll just do that 50. And student loans. Let's say that you have student loans and an auto loan. Yeesh. I'm going to say we don't have an auto loan. Don't even want to pretend. Okay, so vacation. Fitness, gym membership, education. I don't know what to do. So dining out. Okay, say no one's dining out at this point, but we're taking out. Gaming, music. Oh, I don't know. Fun money. Whatever. Okay. So here we go. So what this has done is I've pulled these numbers out of the air and see that it looks like I have, looks like I've gone over budget. Look at this. I wasn't really thinking about what this was going to be. I wasn't really trying to do that. So I'm going to go, let's see, what can I, this is all pretend. So I'm just going to, let's see. So no vacation for me this month. Or, whatever. So, gonna do a little bit less fun. Fun's important, but maybe a little bit less. I'm trying to do this from the perspective of someone who would actually be doing this. Okay, gotta do all this stuff. Software subscription. Hey, maybe I could skimp some $28. Hey. Okay. I'm gonna pretend that I'm perfect and I didn't forget to budget anything. And then 158, dining out. Okay, well, we'll dine out less. Okay, almost there. Music. Make a joke about people paying for music, but people do pay for music, and they should, because artists need your support. Otherwise, there's not going to be artists, or there will be corporate artists, which isn't great. So I'm going to do, was it 67, if I did the math right, to get to a zero-based budget. So go me. I have balanced my fictitious prescriptive budget. So this is what my month is going to look like. Okay, great. So you can create goals, and that's awesome. But like, how do I say that I've spent something? So in my worksheets, when you go through the day, you put what you spent in certain categories. That's what I'm used to doing. But I would think that I'd click here in activity and put something in, but it doesn't appear that there's a way to do that. So clearly I'm missing something. Category group, undo. Okay. Reports. Okay, we don't really. Okay. All income sources. Yeah, so I want to figure out where I could add in an income source, because this is just what I have in my checking account. It's not, I guess maybe it isn't. Maybe when I put it in, was, you know, maybe this counts as like my income, but, you know, maybe this counts as like my income. So let's see. So no vacation for me this month. It's unclear looking at this. Well. So. All right. Well. Oh wait, what happened here? 80 to be budgeted. Did I click away from something? I feel like I must have clicked away from something. Whatever. I will figure this out. So, okay. So underfunded, and it's got information from last month. Okay, let's continue up here. Schedule a transaction. Schedule future transactions now. Okay. Add a transaction. So what are we doing? This is a transaction from what to what? This month. So this is, like, I guess it's kind of like a bill, right? You know that you're going to pay the phone bill on the 7th of every month. Okay, just get that. So I'll say phone. This would be the phone bill. Category. What would that be? Is phone here? Because really phone isn't here. So maybe I'll just put electric. The category is electric. The memo is electric. Okay, so, right, so we have here the electric bill, and then the outflow is, let's just call it 100. So, just hit save. Isn't gray beautiful? It means you're prepared. Okay, now it's going to go over here, and select any category. Okay, see how that'll impact your budget. Got it. One upcoming transaction, and available will be 0. So we've just totally knocked out the category right here. Very cool. I don't totally see the place where you put in the, your daily spend. I mean, I guess you could put each thing in as a transaction, but gosh, that really seems like I must be missing something, because that seems really cumbersome to do. But maybe there's something that I'm missing here. So let's see. Move money. That's the last checkbox. We're almost done here. So the secret sauce in a successful budget is flexibility. Move some money. So what are we moving? So let's see. Need to adjust. Life changes and so should your budget. Okay, so this is the rolling with the punches, I guess. That was rule 3. And so click on a green category in your available column. Okay, so what should I do? Okay, there. Oh, okay, so this is if you're changing categories. Enter the amount you'd like to move. Okay, so I'm going to move 100 to, let's say, I went on a road trip or something. So we moved 500, 100, 400, 200. So we move 100 over. Moving money is perfect for covering overspending. Yeah. Sweet. All right. So we can move category amounts around. Awesome. Okay, we've got 6 checkboxes. Congratulations. You can hide these steps now, but click the quick start guide at any time for a refresher. All right, so hey, look at us. We did it. So we went through the quick start, and we have a budget, which I hear tell we need. So that's my first run through You Need a Budget. So I came in here not knowing anything about You Need a Budget, and I signed up totally green and created a budget. And so I don't quite know how long I've been at this, but it hasn't been very long. And I've got basic categories, a basic plan for a monthly budget, and it stepped me through the quick start, the process of setting up accounts and where your needs are. And here we are. So what do I think? I think You Need a Budget has its heart and its mind in the right place. So it clearly has its heart in the right place. Its goal is to help you understand your financial situation. And not just because that's fun, but because it's important and it can help relieve anxiety and help you feel more aware and help you feel more confident. So it's got all of the right ideas right there. So it's good like that. And I think in general, its head is in the right place too. You've got a number of good ideas in terms of, its 4 rules, and it's certainly got its own philosophy with its true expenses and the aging your money thing, and it's interesting for me because, I have my own philosophy, and it just goes to show that vocabulary is important in comprehension. So I have a sense that You Need a Budget and me and I are pretty much talking about the same thing. There's very little in here that I have scratched my head and said, not into it. So pretty much we're on the same page, and yet a lot of the wording is pretty unfamiliar to me. And I think that's true in general with financial education, is that it's very easy to misuse words or use words in different contexts, to use words with different meanings, or the same word with different meanings used in different ways. And so I saw a little bit of that there. And so I imagine that even if you're not familiar with my process and my procedures, that you probably have your own. And so learning the You Need a Budget way, gestalt, or whatever, it's probably going to be a little bit of a learning curve. But in general, I'm actually quite pleased with what they came up with in terms of helping you get started. They answer a lot of questions. They've set up the system such that it's just kind of there waiting for you. So, and it has the ability to do linked accounts, which, again, I'm not a fan of, but I think a lot of people are, in terms of making it easy. One thing that I'm looking at that I'm not totally sure I'm on board with is the fact that it doesn't appear to be able to have a daily breakdown of your spending. Or if it is, then my initial foray into this app I'm not able to find it. Because right now it just has the month-wide situation. Like, my rent is $2,000. That's a bad example. But here, for false expenses, I'm joking, like dining out. Okay, so we have $200 that we've spent for the month. What happens when I spend $20 tomorrow or $30 the next day? So I don't quite see a really easy place to do that. I'm assuming there's a place to just put in your total, like cash spending, your edit. That's just the title. Yeah, so I'm assuming there's a place to put in, totals, although, interestingly, I'm not able to find it. But I don't see a place where you go down granularly by the day, say this day I spent this much. And I really do think that that's important. I think it's important to know when things happened during the month. Just saying that you spent this much is good, but it doesn't give you any kind of temporal analysis. And, when you go onto your bank account, did this spending happen the 3rd of the month or the 30th of the month? I don't see any place to put that here. And like I said, if there is a place, then it's just certainly not obvious. Maybe it's in a report somewhere. I don't know. But the final question that I have is this worth it? Like I said, you need a budget, but do you need a budget? And the answer is, I charitably, I want to say, yes, it's a perfectly good program and it does a lot of other things. But if the question is, do you need it? The answer is no. You don't need this. There is nothing that this does for you that you can't do yourself. And that's the truth. This is a nice app, it's a nice environment, and it helps with a lot of things, but at the end of the day, this is work that you can do on your own. You need a budget to do budgeting. Now that said, at $12 a month or $84 a year, that's not exactly a huge, it's not breaking the bank. What is that? That is the cost of a meal in a given month. So it's not a tremendously expensive app. And so, you have to factor that in. If it helps and it's not too expensive, then why not? And I think that's the bigger idea, is that is this Is this necessary? No. But is it harmful? No. Is it helpful? Could be. This could be a great tool. And I think that's what it comes down to, is that, like, if you see this tool and you're saying to yourself, this is exactly what I need. This works for me. It's kind of like, meeting a person and clicking with them. You just know, and you can't really necessarily put your finger on it, but you just know, like, we go together. And apps can be like that too. Like, you may look at this and be like, this is exactly what I need. And if that's you, then, awesome. So I think that's my summary, is that good tool, it's doing good work, its heart is in the right place, it's not necessary. Everything that it does, you can do yourself. But if you're not doing it yourself, and paying $12 a month for this app will help you do it, then that's a small price to pay. And with that, I'm going to end this review, and I'm going to log out and call this good. I hope you have enjoyed my unboxing, as it were, of You Need a Budget, my first time going through the tool, having never used it before. If you have any comments about my presentation of it, or if you have any bones to pick with things that I've done, or if you've been screaming at the screen saying, you're forgetting this whole page, and if you're an expert and you want to school me on things, I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment. Let's chat. If you think that YNAB is the most essential tool, I want to know about it. I want to know, maybe there's some things that I didn't think of. So I want to know your thoughts, and I always am interested in what's important to you as you move on your goal towards financial wellness, financial security, and, as always, financial empowerment. So with that, I'm signing off. Thanks for watching. My name is Mike Pumphrey. This is Empathic Finance, and I'll see you next time.